Why did the new Republic of the United States face conflict between 1754 and 1800? Settlers moved west beyond the Appalachian Mountains. They wanted access to the Mississippi River for trade. This expansion brought them into lands controlled by Britain and Spain. Tensions over land and navigation rights grew. The U.S. government tried diplomatic efforts to address these challenges. They aimed to manage the British and Spanish presence in North America. Negotiations often failed. Frustrations increased. At the same time, the French Revolution shook Europe. War erupted between France and Britain. The United States faced a tough choice: support France, their former ally, or stay neutral to avoid angering Britain. This question split the nation. In 1793, Edmond Charles Genet, known as Citizen Genet, arrived from France. He tried to recruit Americans to fight against Britain, challenging U.S. neutrality. In his letter to President George Washington on August 13, 1793, Genet wrote, "I come in the name of the French people to request the United States to carry into effect the treaties concluded with France." Washington insisted on neutrality. He replied, "It is our true policy to steer clear of permanent alliances with any portion of the foreign world." The Citizen Genet Affair heightened tensions and started debates. British naval impressment became a pressing issue. British ships seized American sailors, forcing them into service. This was like a bully taking kids from a playground to join his team without consent. To combat this, Congress passed the Seamen Protection Act in 1796. Section 5 outlined procedures for ship captains to report impressments to U.S. diplomats. The act aimed to protect American seamen. To resolve tensions with Britain, the U.S. sent John Jay to negotiate. The resulting Jay Treaty in 1795 aimed to settle outstanding issues. Many Americans disliked the treaty, feeling it favored Britain. James Madison, in his letter to Robert R. Livingston on August 10, 1795, criticized it. The treaty contains no stipulations against the impressment of our seamen, and it grants commercial advantages to Britain. These foreign policy challenges fueled domestic debates. Alexander Hamilton led the Federalists, favoring strong ties with Britain and a powerful national government. Thomas Jefferson and James Madison led the Democratic Republicans, supporting France and advocating for states' rights. The nation saw the birth of its first political parties, like students forming clubs based on different ideas. Groups like the Democratic Republican Societies appeared. The New York Democratic Society met on May 28, 1794. They stated, "While we approve of the President's proclamation of neutrality, we lament that some citizens have been prosecuted for expressing honest sentiments." This was similar to students agreeing with the school rule, but opposing punishment of classmates for speaking their minds. Out west, Spain expanded its mission settlement into California. These missions relied on the labor of American Indians. Soldiers found opportunities for advancement. Cultures began to mix. Junipero Serra, a Spanish missionary, established missions along the California coast. Some praised him for spreading Christianity. Others condemned him for oppressing native peoples. In 1786, Jean-François de Galab la Pérouse, a French explorer, visited California. He observed that the treatment of indigenous people at the missions resembled slavery on Caribbean plantations. In his journal, he noted, "The Indians are held in a state of dependence more akin to slavery than to the paternal care which should be the foundation of such establishments." Back east, the relationship between the federal government and American Indian tribes remained unclear. Treaties were often broken. Disputes over land intensified. The Oneida Nation, allies during the Revolutionary War, struggled to receive promised payments. On April 7, 1793, Oneida officers wrote to President Washington, seeking help. "Father, we have faithfully fought alongside you. Will you now assist us in obtaining our just rights?" At home, political ideas and institutions evolved. George Washington, the first president, set many precedents. In his farewell address, he urged unity and warned against political parties and permanent foreign alliances. He cautioned, "The common and continual mischiefs of the spirit of party are enough to make it the duty of wise people to discourage and restrain it." Despite his advice, factions formed. The Federalists and the Democratic Republicans argued over the balance between liberty and order, the power of the national government versus states, economic policies, and foreign alliances. These debates shaped the new republic. For example, the Federalists supported creating a national bank to stabilize the economy. The Democratic Republicans opposed it, fearing it concentrated too much power in the federal government. This clash was like two chefs arguing over a recipe. Each convinced their way would make the dish perfect. All these issues were connected. Expansion westward led to conflicts with foreign powers and indigenous nations. International wars forced the U.S. to handle complex foreign relations, causing internal disagreements. These challenges led to political divisions and the creation of political parties, shaping the nation's identity. So, why did the new Republic of the United States face conflict? Expansion, foreign wars, and internal divisions all played a part. Although Washington warned against political factions, efforts to manage these conflicts led to the birth of the political party system that continues to influence American politics today.